Hello, I'm Patricia Henderson, Outreach and Community Services Manager at Senior Connection Center, and this is your weekly connection. April is Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month. Do you know about the Parkinson's Foundation? Here today to share about the mission of the Parkinson's Foundation is Crista Ellis. Crista is a program manager with the Parkinson's Foundation and has been serving the Parkinson's community for over 6 years. Crista has committed her professional career to educating and empowering people living with and affected by Parkinson's disease. Thank you, Crista, for being here today.
Oh, thanks, Patricia. I'm so glad to share about Parkinson's with you and your community here online. So thanks for having me.
Before we talk about the Parkinson's Foundation, let's talk a little bit about Parkinson's disease. Will you explain and define what Parkinson's disease is?
Absolutely. Trying to stay out of the medical jargon as much as I can, but Parkinson's disease is a neurodegenerative progressive disorder that affects predominantly the dopamine producing neurons in a very specific area in the brain called the substantia nigra. So we know that nearly 1 million Americans and 10 million people worldwide are living with Parkinson's disease, and to shorten it, PD, with approximately 60,000 people in the United States diagnosed each year. Parkinson's is the second most common neurodegenerative condition after Alzheimer's, so it's pretty significant around the world. We do expect the diagnosis of Parkinson's to increase substantially in the next 20 years due to the aging of the population. So I want to just really briefly talk about some of the symptoms of Parkinson's disease that most of us might be able to notice. So symptoms in PD generally develop slowly over the years. That's why it's called a progressive disorder. And the progression is often different from one person to another. So Parkinson's doesn't look the same for each individual person. People with PD might experience tremor. Not everyone with Parkinson's has tremor, and I share that because that's often sometimes surprising for people to hear. So not everyone with Parkinson's has a tremor. And then we have slowness of movements, or in the medical field, they call this bradykinesia. And then limb rigidity, so arms and legs feel really stiff, and gait and balance problems. So in addition to movement-related symptoms, or we call them motor symptoms, Parkinson's symptoms may be unrelated to movement, so our non-motor symptoms, and that can include apathy, so just not feeling very expressive or content, depression, constipation, sleep behavior, and loss of sense of smell and cognitive impairment. So that's just a really quick high-level overview of what Parkinson's disease is.
And you're right, some of those symptoms people would not relate to Parkinson's disease. What causes Parkinson's disease?
This is a hot topic right now. A very good question. So scientists believe that a combination of genetic and environmental factors are the cause of PD. Parkinson's is an extremely diverse disorder. And as I said, no two people with Parkinson's experience it the same way, but there are some commonalities across the board for Parkinson's. So the main finding in the brains of people with PD is that loss of dopaminergic neurons in the area of the brain that we call the substantia nigra. Now let's talk about genetics. So genetics causes about 10 to 15% of all Parkinson's disease, only 10 to 15%. So that's usually surprising for people to hear. Over the years, scientists have studied DNA from people with Parkinson's, so comparing these genes, and they've discovered that dozens of gene mutations are linked to Parkinson's. Now, we do have currently investigating the role of genes in Parkinson's, and it's called our PD generation, Mapping the Future of Parkinson's Disease. So if anyone's interested in advancing research, they can certainly learn more about enrolling in that at parkinson.org/PD generation. There's much more beyond genetics than Parkinson's. So still thinking about what causes PD, I want to make sure we talk about environmental factors because this can really influence the manifestation of someone's Parkinson's disease. So the interactions between genes and the environment can be complex. Some environmental exposures may lower the risk of PD while others can increase it. Environmental factors that are associated with PD can include head injury. So for those of you who are familiar with the famous boxer, Muhammad Ali, he developed Parkinson's disease. Where you live, so your area of residence can really manifest those PD gene mutations to really start to express
Really?
Parkinson's disease. And exposure to pesticides. So thinking about those who served in the Vietnam War, our veterans who were exposed to Agent Orange and other pesticides in more rural areas can really influence the manifestation of Parkinson's. So it's caused by a combination of genes, environment, and your lifestyle. And the interaction of all those components determines if someone will develop Parkinson's.
If someone does get the diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, what are some of the initial steps that person should take?
So a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease for some can come as a relief. It's an explanation for previously kind of unexplained symptoms of what's been happening in their life in 5 or 10 years leading up to that moment of diagnosis. Others could be stunned, struggling with the uncertainty of their future, what that might look like. And so as you begin processing your emotions, which can be wide ranging, right, in anything that's pretty significant of a diagnosis, it's important to first just feel and know that you're not alone. As you learn more about Parkinson's, the first thing to start doing is work towards building a network of support. And when you're ready, connect with others who are living with PD. The Parkinson's Foundation is built on community, so you can call the Parkinson's Foundation's helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO. You can email us at helpline@parkinson.org for answers to all your Parkinson's questions. We are staffed by PD information specialists who can assist you, so that helpline can be a really good starting point. The Parkinson's Foundation is here for you at every stage of your journey. So just start connecting with people with Parkinson's and building that support network that you need.
And we will have that phone number, that email address, and that website for you at the end of the video.
Perfect. Thanks, Patricia.
Can you slow the progression of Parkinson's disease?
This is one thing that the foundation will harp on time and time again, really any Parkinson's organization. There's one thing that scientists in the Parkinson's community knows will slow the progression of Parkinson's disease. Do you know what that is, Patricia?
I don't.
It's exercise. It's exercise.
I thought it might be, but I wasn't sure.
So exercise is an important part of healthy living for everyone, right? For people with Parkinson's disease, exercise is more than healthy. It's a vital component to maintaining balance, mobility, and activities of daily living. Exercise and physical activity can improve Parkinson's symptoms, and these benefits have been supported by years and years of research. So we know that people with Parkinson's who start exercising earlier and do a minimum of 2.5 hours a week experience a slower decline in the quality of their life compared to those who start later. So establishing early exercise habits is essential to the overall disease management. Exercise.
That's great to know. And that may be something that people who are experiencing tremors or movement challenges may not be inclined to exercise. So that's really good to know that this is actually something that can help slow the progression of the disease.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is important for those who are caring for individuals with Parkinson's disease to know?
Yeah, so whether you're caring for someone who's recently diagnosed with PD or adapting to the new challenges as kind of the disease progresses over time, or you've been living with PD for a long time, again, that strong support network is essential, not only for the person with Parkinson's, but the person living with someone living with Parkinson's disease. So making sure you are taken care of too can help create a productive partnership that minimizes stress and conflict. Early on in a Parkinson's journey, you might not feel like you're actually giving care to someone. And similarly, your loved one might not see himself or herself as someone in need of care. But remember, care is not limited to physical tasks. It can be emotional and spiritual, as well as physical. So The Parkinson's Foundation has many resources to offer our care partners, and that includes the helpline that I mentioned earlier, but one of my favorites is our Caring and Coping guidebook. So the book is written for care partners and contains tips and tools to make the caregiving journey as productive as possible with the least amount of stress. So there's so many more other resources that can be found at our webpage, and that direct URL is parkinson.org/caregiving. So don't forget about caring for yourself if you are living with someone affected with Parkinson's disease.
And again, we'll have that website for you at the end of the video.
Perfect.
What other types of resources are available through the Parkinson's Foundation?
Oh, in a short amount of time, you want me just to write it all down for you?
Sure.
So the Parkinson's Foundation makes life better for people with Parkinson's disease by improving care and advancing research towards a cure. In everything we do, we build on the energy, experience, and passion of our global Parkinson's community. We have an extensive library of free resources on our webpage. We have educational events that can be attended in person or online. We have regularly scheduled online engagement opportunities through our PD Health at Home platform, where we offer Mindfulness Mondays, Wellness Wednesdays, and Fitness Fridays. We have our signature fundraising events across the country called Moving Day, and our next one for 2022 is coming on April 30th in Tampa Bay. So reach out to our helpline if you want to learn more about that. Moving Day is an opportunity to bring the community together in celebration of movement. So we just learned that movement is very, very essential to disease management. So come out and join us for Moving Day. The first thing to do is get connected with the Parkinson's Foundation, whether you're a person living with it or affected by Parkinson's disease, a health professional, someone who's interested to volunteer with the foundation, or just curious about learning more about Parkinson's disease. Get connected with us so we can start creating a future, getting closer to a future where no one lives with Parkinson's.
Will you give us the helpline phone number one more time?
Absolutely. That's 1-800-4PD-INFO.
Such great information today. Crista, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Patricia, for the opportunity. I look forward to connecting with all of you.
If you are living with Parkinson's disease or caring for someone who is living with Parkinson's disease, reach out, get help, check out the Parkinson's Foundation. I'm Patricia Henderson, and this is your Weekly Connection.